All right, today I'm going to talk about 2008's Iron Man, starring Robert Downey Jr. and directed by Jon Favreau. The theme of the film that it wrestles with is about the military-industrial complex, about the military. Is it right or is it wrong? Tony Stark, Robert Downey Jr. is introduced as Tony Stark. We love him immediately. He's playing dice in a casino. He looks great. He's smooth. He gets off with this girl and he's quickly into the desert with all these grand military weapons, missiles, and such. And they blow up everything in the background. It's a spectacular visual. Of course, he delivers this line that his father gave him: the only way to beat the other guy is to have a bigger stick. And that's basically being the biggest dog in the room, alpha male, nobody messes with you. And the film plods along like that until he's quickly captured by the enemy. Um, they're Middle Easterns, and there's, in retrospect, a whiff of, a Palestinian rebellion off them, you know what I mean? Especially in today's climate, it's hard not to kind of get a piercing feeling of that when you watch it. Especially as America hasn't intervened in the war whatsoever, and they're kind of pro-Israel. He's captured, he's in the mountains, he can't escape, and he quickly hatches his plan to build this kind of Frankenstein suit. Most people will have seen the film, nearly everybody, and he begins constructing this suit, and it's a deadly tension because we've seen Iron Man in the trailer, but we haven't seen this. So we're excited to see what he comes up with. And of course, he comes up with his kind of Iron Giant style robot. Now, this robot suit, it's not as cool as Robocop, but Robocop isn't as cool as Iron Man. So we're happy to stay and see how it turns out. It's all retrograde. He gets out when he crashes into the desert. It's like a kind of a garbage heap or a mechanic's workshop. We're left with this kind of little silly, giddy little feeling that like we could do it ourselves. You know, the home workshop engineering, home improvement style thing that we all like. In the mountains, there's some good stuff. He has an assistant whose name escapes me. Um, he's shot. He defends Tony, and he is dying. And he tells Tony his family is all dead, and that he's going to go see them in the afterlife. There's a weird moment on the filmmakers and Robert Downey Jr. and the producers' chance to kind of comment on, God and the afterlife. Robert Downey Jr.'s face doesn't even blink, so they don't want to get involved in it. But I'm certain a character like Tony Stark with an ego that big would would clearly be an atheist, you know. So he makes it back onto land, and the first thing he asks for is American cheeseburger. Now, this is a little nod because when Robert Downey Jr. was in rehab, the first thing he asked for was an American cheeseburger. Um, and then we move on to the fun part, you know what I mean? It's absolutely delicious as he's setting up Iron Man and he's learning to fly with the rocket boots and he's toying with the robots. He immediately cancels the weapons program. Okay, this is the film then siding with the hippies, let's give peace a chance. And he gets Pepper to put the new arc reactor into his chest. She literally inserts a new heart into him. He's a new man, no more military, give peace a chance, we're plodding along. He starts to experiment with the suit and he gets some pushback from the American military. Now this is like Iron Man v Top Gun, and he comes up just about on Trump, on top, no pun intended there. And he then crashes. Jeff Bridges, who's so good in this as the bad guy, my son didn't recognize him as the dude. Is really smooth. He's the surrogate father figure. He's the jealous father, and all that plays really well. The film moves on. Then, of course, we have a reversal. Jeff Bridges is the bad guy, and he's building his own suit, and he's trying to take Tony down. And then we have the reversal. Tony's arc reactor is broken. He has to put his old heart back in, the one that was made in the mountains. And this is Tony then going against his hippie movement because he then has to put that one in, put on an old suit, beat Jeff Bridges, and take him down. And of course, the film completely surrenders to the theme of, pro-military globally at the end when Tony holds a press conference and he says I'm Iron Man. So it completely surrenders to the idea of a military. And look, in a big global world where China have nukes, Russia have nukes, America have nukes, I suppose it's difficult not to kind of think like that. Um, Even though we're not close to it, we don't understand it. Terrence Howard shows up as brilliant. He was obviously behaving himself back then. It's a shame his career didn't kind of amount to much. Gwyneth Paltrow screams wifey all over the place, and some of their scenes are absolutely delicious, like the perfect break from all the Iron Man stuff, you know, where she's dancing in a backless dress with the boss, all this kind of stuff. Really enjoyable stuff. If you haven't seen it, go see it, or if you haven't seen it in a while, check it out again.